24th of January 2023, and hopefully we're going to go flying today. It looks like a beautiful day. There has been a bit of mist and fog about, but that should be burning off at the moment. We've got a front coming in, but if we get away in time we should be back before that causes a problem. So what I thought I'd do first of all is take you through how I plan a flight, and here we go. First up is accessing the Met Office. And I've got access into the main aviation section here, and the two main ones we use are the UK low level forecast and the spot winds. So if I look at 0800 to 1700 today, we've got a representation of the weather. In this section C is where we'll be flying, and this is going to be clear for most of the day. A little bit of low cloud, scattered low cloud, that shouldn't cause us a problem. And then down in here in position D, it's showing the front that's coming in a bit later on. The head of that should be scattered cloud, and that shouldn't cause us a problem, not in the time frame that we want to fly. So from this I can determine that yes, we can fly today in those conditions. And then I need to look at the winds, so I go to the spot wind forecast between 9 and 3 o'clock today. Scroll down, and these boxes roughly represent the different wind speeds and variables during the day. This particular box and this particular box, the ones we're flying in today, when I take off at 2,000 feet, the wind's coming from 060 at 15 knots, and the freezing point is at 2,000 feet. We should be flying around about 2,500 feet, and then down towards Dunkerswell and Devon, the wind has slightly shifted. At 2,000 feet it's at 040, and at 10 knots slightly less, in fact, and it's only 5 knots at 1,000 feet. So that's about the height that Dunkerswell's at. So that's nice gentle flying conditions. So now that we've finished the Met and determined that we can fly, I can go and plot the route on my map. And so from here, I'm going to go from Henstridge up to the north to King Alfred's Tower, straight across to the west to Clapworthy Reservoir, and then down to the old airfield at Pottery. For those who like Band of Brothers, they'll know that that's where they flew from, down on D-Day, and then from there into Dunkerswell. So that's the route on the aviation chart. I then go back to my iPad and to the wonderful application Sky Demon, and then I transpose that route onto Sky Demon. So you can see I've mirrored it there, and from that I get my pilot log, which tells me exactly the route that I need to fly in times, headings, and distances, etc. And we would while it's training, we'd use a whiz wheel to work all that out. You don't necessarily need to do so much of that once you've passed, because you've got a lovely tool like Sky Demon, but it's worth. I keep my hand in now and again using the whiz wheel. So from that I'll print it out, and once I've printed it out, I've not only got a hard copy with all the directions again, but I've got the radio frequencies that we might be using. From there I transpose that route into my own interpretation of it, a bit more visual. And from here I've got again the radio frequencies that I'm going to use. I've got a diagram of Dunkerswell. I've flown into Dunkerswell quite a lot, so I should know it by now, but I still draw it in there. And this gives me the airfield, the directions of the runways. We should be using 04 today. The name of the airfield and the telephone number I've got to ring to tell them I'm coming. What the designation is, it's EGTU. And then how many hectopascals we adjust on the altimeter to get the height above sea level of the runway. And there it's 30 hectopascals. So I'd turn down the reading on the altimeter by 30 hectopascals if I didn't get any information from the airfield, which I should do anyway as a backup. So from here we've got representation of the route in legs: Henstridge, King Alfred's Tower to Clapworthy Reservoir to Pottery, and then I know my way into Dunkerswell. And on here I put, here goes the spinner on the, never mind. From there I've got the direction I'm going to fly in, so 06 degrees to the north for 6 minutes, 2,500 feet, and it's 8 nautical miles, and I put that in for each leg. So that gives me a nice visual representation of the flight. My radio call, roughly what my route is, and then I've just added in here my outbound leg, which I pretty much know off by heart, but I draw it in on the map anyway. So I'm going to go down the coast to Weymouth and back up into Henstridge, and I've just put in there that when we leave Dunkers, I'm looking for 115 degrees for about 30 nautical miles to Weymouth. But I've also got other tools in the aircraft that will help me to find my way back. So that's it. There's a little bit more to it than that, but that's basically planning the flight. So next thing is to saddle up and get to Henstridge. Okay, I've arrived at Henstridge and I've got the aircraft out. I've just connected my Sky Echo. That talks to my Sky Demon, tells me exactly where we are. And now I've just got to go through pre-flights while I'm waiting for Ian, and then we'll be off. We may not land at Dunkers because there's a little front coming in, but everything's very quiet and nice here at the moment, so should be okay. So I'm back home now, and that was yesterday. It was a very clear and good illustration of how your plans have to change due to the vagaries of the British weather. It ended up being really quite hazy. Forward visibility was pretty bad, and so making the decision not to land at Dunkers but to just fly the route was probably the right one. And despite that, we got a good hour and a quarter in, and came back safely, which is the main thing. So let's look forward now to some better weather and some more flying. I hope you enjoyed the planning aspect of that little video. And just to end, I thought I'd show you what generally happens back here when I'm trying to make a video, and well, you'll see what happens. Robin's arrived.